All right,
Uh,
good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. This is a special meeting of the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council, Planning, Land Use, and Port Committee. As co-chair, I'm going to pass the running of this meeting over to Kane Nicholas. Go ahead and take it away.
Good evening, everybody. And
I'm in a meeting. Can I call you back?
Oh, hi, Diana. You did hear about Jesse.
I did.
we can mute Diana. Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We're going to commence the meeting and start off with the roll call. And that roll, I'll just go through the names. Here we go. Diana Nave.
She's muted now.
Yeah, looks like she's off of her cell phone. So Diana, they called your name.
Diana Nave.
Here.
Thomas Norman.
Here.
Linda Alexander.
Here.
Rock Ashfield. Craig Goldfarb. Jason Hearing.
Here.
Pat Nave.
Here.
Thank you, Jason. Pat Nave.
Yeah, here.
Kane Nicholas, myself is here. Is Sam here? Sam.
Here.
Hello, Sam. Garrett.
Here. Tyke.
Kayak. Thank you.
Tyke, like the little tyke toys.
Okay, thank you. And Brooke.
Brooke's not a member of the committee, so you don't need to call his name as a committee.
But for the minutes, and yeah,
Yeah,
thank you, Garrett, for agreeing to take the minutes for the meeting. And so, yeah, if you can note who is here and that we have one visitor at this point. And then I'll help you. There's one more attendee. Oh, that's your note taker. Okay. So I think we're good. Sorry to interrupt, Chair.
No worries. Thank you. And thank you, Garrett, for taking the notes. All right, going down the agenda. The first order of business, I just want to also establish that we have a quorum, and let that record show that we have a quorum. Thank you, Garrett. The first order of business is the billboards on LA lifeguard stations. Should we open it up? We should open it up for discussion.
You need to see if anyone wants to make a motion.
Oh, I apologize. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
No, see if anyone wants to make a motion on this item, the commercial advertising on billboards.
Okay.
We have a draft motion.
Did you want to move this, Linda?
Sure. I so move.
And I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Has it been moved and properly seconded? Is there any discussion?
Do you want to give the rationale, Linda?
This wasn't my,
Oh, okay.
this wasn't mine.
Oh, was this Robbins? This is Robbins, Diana?
Yeah.
Pat, did you want to speak to it? I know you have some comments.
Well, I did at the joint meeting. It seemed to me that the size was rather innocuous, that there has been precedent, certainly in the city. Was a controversy a few years ago about putting signs in the public parks. So it was recreation in parks for the city, not county recreation in parks, which is what this is. And I thought that probably it could be coupled with some signage related to community events, directional wayfinding, sign warnings and things like that, high surf and so forth. But in general, I think I've seen some photos of these signs where they do exist, and they're pretty ugly. pretty awful. So I thought, well, I'm going to withdraw my concerns there and just support the ban on it, knowing that there may be some changes to it once they actually implement it, which I'm sure they probably will because of revenue. The other thing is that it was pointed out to me that it's not really 100% of the revenue from these things is not going to the stated purpose, but only 100% of the revenue after the sign, um, the sign people take their cut out of it. So all in all, I'm supportive of the motion to oppose the project.
Are there any other discussions?
Yep, I've got my hand up.
Oh,
So
I
no,
can't see.
I'll try to let you run it more and interject less. Sorry, Kane. So I had a question that somebody with a legal background or knowledge of title, law or a coastal act specifically, it references that. Is there anybody here who knows more about the coastal act and the fact that this appears to be violating it? This proposed purpose? So I'm thinking Pat might know something about that.
Yeah, I actually worked on the, excuse me, on the original Coastal Act in our office. A lot of the provisions in there that relate to the port came out of our office at the city attorney back way back when, about 1976 or so. It's mostly a jurisdictional issue, and that is the changes and licensing and things like that in the coastal zone. Um, Depending on where they are and who's doing them, are appealable to the Coastal Commission or are require Coastal Commission approval in the first instance. I'm not sure which of these um, that's implicated here, but as I understand it, this is an appeal to the Coastal Commission. The Coastal Commission then took it up, and that's where it stands right now.
Yeah, thank you. So, with that extra context, I'll just kind of speak in favor of this motion.
Okay, with the discussions, anyone else in the queue, Thomas?
No.
Okay, okay, I'll call for the vote.
Do you want me to call the roll, Nick? Okay.
Yes, please, thank you.
Linda Alexander,
Yes,
Rock Ashfield is here. I just realized. We'll come back to Rock in a minute. Pat Nave,
Yes.
Jason Herring,
Yes.
Sam Rampy,
Yeah.
Tom Norman,
Yes.
Diana Nave, yes. Garrett,
Yes.
say your last name again. Was saying it wrong.
It's tyke, like the little tyke
Tyke.
toys. Yeah.
Tyke. Hi. And Kane, Nicholas,
Yes,
yes. So, and then we need to, promote. No, we did. We promoted Rock. So Rock Ashfield, how do you vote on this?
Not connected to audio right now.
Oh, okay. So it was unanimous.
And for Garrett, if you just want to note that Rock did show up, so he's now an attendee.
all right. Moving down the agenda, oh, sorry, so that being said, we've had the discussion on it. We had the roll, it has been unanimous, and we will move to the next item. The next item is the consideration of opposition to SB 71 and CF 25-0002-S31 to exempt certain transportation projects from CEQA. And Pat, if you could lead the discussion on this.
Actually, I'm going to do it instead of Pat.
Okay.
This was another one that was at our joint committee meeting, and I made a couple of changes to it. And I'm suggesting that we take the position of oppose unless amended, because SB 71 is really trying to make it easier to have multiple forms of transit, which is something we support. On the other hand, it goes too far, because while it would expand the existing CEQA exemption for certain transportation projects to cover any additional project that might be much larger, modifying any transit route or including light rail, be added, rerouted, expanded, or eliminated without a CEQA review. So this might actually be interpreted to include kiosks and other digital signs, making the environmental effects huge. So just the position would be to oppose it unless it's amended to delete the expansion of the current CEQA exemptions, because the current CEQA exemptions are for the kind of basic transportation projects that have been the simpler ones that really don't need a CEQA review. So that's the motion. And the last sentence, which says opposes SB 7A, should be SB 71. There's a typo. And that's I would move that. It would be the second.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Diana and properly seconded by Thomas Norman. Can we open it up, or we'll open it up for discussion? I see one hand up. Jason?
Yeah, so Diana, you mentioned that the existing exemptions, there are some in place that occur for smaller build outs. Could those, the way they are worded, will those also be open to include kiosks and digital signs?
I
Or is that
think
just
so.
some,
I don't
Pardon?
think existing ones would, no.
so just the rewording of this expanded exemption could be interpreted that way?
Yes.
Okay.
The existing exemptions sunset in 2030. So the reason to keep legislation in place would be to allow the existing exemptions to continue beyond that, but just not to expand the exemptions.
So really what we want to see is something that keeps it a little more on track to the intended purpose of transit.
Yes.
All right. Are there any other hands, Thomas, in the audience?
Well, what does all that have to do with CEQA? I guess my question.
That's
Why do we
Rob.
want more? Why do we want more regulations on stuff that we want to happen down here? I guess that's where I come from.
The CEQA already requires any project to have some kind of environmental review. And sometimes the environmental review is a very simple one, but sometimes it's a very complex one, depending on the project. So we're not asking to have more. We're saying that the existing level should be kept.
I recognizing Pat. I see your hand up.
I'd like to supplement what Rock said and was asking. Under CEQA, there's all kinds of levels of review. There's categorical exemptions. There's negative declarations. There's things like that. And this is and many of them are designed to take care of the little small things that go on. That's the state of the law now. This is an expansion, attempt to expand it. There's a group of well, in general, the government over the last number of years has tried to say, we just have too many things that are being held up because of CEQA reviews by definition of a project. So we're going to try to eliminate that blockage by giving categorical exemptions to more things. And some of that is all right, and some of these things that are in there are okay, and some of the things that are already in existing categorical exemptions are okay. This is a pretty big expansion of it. The easiest way to address these things and to kind of restore some order to local planning, it seems to me, or Rock, is to to have transportation elements of general plans, for example, have those assessed, have an environmental assessment of it, and then any projects that are built that are subsumed, in the envelope or under the umbrella of that environmental assessment would be automatically approved. And in fact, there's one section of this amendment of SB 71 that sort of does that, but it's only for projects that are $100 million over $100 million, which is kind of big. So it'd be a more thoughtful way to do it would be to say, wait, put the brakes on. We've got environmental laws. Come up with a better solution than this, and I think maybe they will. I have to tell you too that part of my concern about this bill is the fact that it comes out of Senator Wiener's office, and he's really notorious for really undermining any kind of local examination of impacts in our neighborhoods. He's the author of practically all, if not all, of the housing bills that have destroyed our local planning efforts and our local general plans, our local community plans, that address transportation elements and parking and things like that. So I think they can do a better job than this one. So that's why I'm voting against it. Voting for the opposition.
Thank you. Is there any other comments or discussion on this motion? Okay. And Thomas, there's no one in the queue. That being said, we'll go for the roll. Diana, if you could take the roll for this motion.
Linda Alexander,
I support opposing.
if you support the CIS, you're opposing the Senate bill unless.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
you'd be voting yes, right? On
Yeah,
the motion?
So I support the CIS.
Pat Ney,
Yes.
Rock Ashfield.
I support what Linda said.
Jason Herring,
Yes.
Sam Rampy,
Yes.
Tom Norman.
How can I go against Rock and Linda? So yes.
I'll vote yes. Garrett,
Yes.
Tyke,
Yes. Perfect. Yes and yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Join the party.
and well, that was unanimous. While we're at it, Rock, were you voting on the billboard one?
I'm sorry?
Were you wanting to vote on the previous motion? Couldn't get your voice on the previous motion.
I'll say yes.
It was a yes. Okay, I will add you to that. It was unanimous.
Okay. Thank you. We'll put that to the record. Okay. You were saying it was unanimous for this item number 3, the opposition of SB 71 and CF 25. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, it was unanimous. We will pause that and move on. The next item in order of business is the consideration and comments for Phillips 66, the reuse plan. And we'll entertain a,
This one I think we want to go through and review.
yes. So I want to thank you, Diana, for compiling the comments, and if you could talk about what you've seen and received.
I suggest, Thomas, can you put it up and can we do the kind of editing that you normally do?
Yes, I want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. So let's just give this a quick double check here as I share it. Because there's one with Jason's comments and
Yes.
Do you remember where we can look to make sure I've pulled up the right one?
Yeah,
Go
right.
to the last email Diana sent.
Yeah, it's not, it's not that one.
All
It
right,
should be
then,
the one that's on the website now. You should have put the correct one on the website.
yeah, let's see, give me a second. I'm just gonna go to the email. I had the others all queued up.
Okay.
But
Well,
that confused
while
myself.
while he's doing that, I was really impressed with all the comments we received. I want to thank everyone for their work because we got a lot of really good comments. The comments, I made a couple of changes. I want to say not exactly corrections, but a couple of edits. The comments that we make are not our personal comments. When we finish it, it becomes the product of the board and it becomes the board's comments. So when someone said I, that got changed to we or something to that extent. The plan had been that Phillips was going to come to the board meeting this month to present their plan to the whole board. And I saw Ray today and he told me that they have postponed it until July. We don't really know why, but they want to hurry. By July 1, they were expecting to file this with the city. So they've slowed down a little bit. I think they're making some changes. I think it's important for us to go ahead and take this forward to the board anyway, so we can get our comments to them and maybe they can think about them as they're making their changes. The first change that has to be actually made in the draft is, which says, in the subject line, I made a typo. It should say reuse, not resue plan for Phillips. You see that, Thomas?
Yeah, not resue. Okay, got
Reuse.
it.
Okay, and then I'm suggesting that when I wrote this, I thought they were going to be sharing it with the whole neighborhood council, but I'm suggesting, because they aren't, that we just say thank you for sharing the draft reuse plan with the San Pedro Neighborhood Council Joint Planning and Land Use Committee, so that it makes it clear that.
Okay.
And then I would suggest another sentence at the end of that first paragraph that says something to the effect of, we understand that you will be presenting this draft plan to our council in July, and we wanted you to have this initial feedback before that time. Just
We understand you'll be presenting an amended version of this plan, or say that again?
So you will be presenting the draft plan to our council in July.
Okay,
And we wanted you to have this initial feedback before that time.
okay,
So that's a suggested change. Then we start talking about the housing crisis. And I have a change in that, and then we need to see who else might have changes. So if we go down to where the addressing the housing crisis.
okay.
I did insert in there the 456,000 units, Sam. I just inserted that in there. But I noticed you talked about home buyers, and this housing that goes in there probably would not be for home buyers because they're not building condos these days. It would more probably be apartments. So I'm thinking that we might want to delete the word home buyer, the first time home buyers. But it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then I suggest adding at the end of that sentence the phrase including employees of this proposed development. So it's the employees of
Where's, I'm not tracking even where the home buyers is on this.
the
Just the
very
The
last,
last
Like-
sentence
Oh,
of that
okay.
last
paragraph.
line.
All right, so like so where do I start deleting? Just the who are first time home
Yeah.
buyers?
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
And take the word, change the word and to who
Yeah,
work in the local community.
Or other workforce,
yeah, At least find a way to get healthcare workers, because Kaiser's right near there.
Firefighters, healthcare workers.
Or you could call them first responders, maybe. I don't know. I
Teachers,
like that.
And
I like this, the way he's got it.
like it, first firefighters, comma, teachers, comma, and employees of this proposed development. I guess we'd have to take out who work within the local community, but that's, we did that.
Take this out then?
Is that all right with everyone?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have a change to that section? Okay. Do you want me to continue walking people through this, or do you want to do it, Kane?
We can if you can continue.
So then we look at the next one, the vibrant mixed-use neighborhood. I had just a really minor thing. The second sentence, that second line there, where it says where you lived. Where you lived.
Where one lived elsewhere.
Yeah. But back up,
Scroll
Tom.
back up, stop.
The second line there, yeah, yes.
Or one or what?
Where one lived elsewhere, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest some reordering of the, anything else on that one? What's Thomas doing here?
That's gonna change. I don't know why the font is different, so I don't know.
Yeah, I figure we'll fix that when we get all done. After we're done. Anybody have any comments on the vibrant mixed use neighborhood?
Well, I do. And that is, I thought that this is a very powerful section of what Jason wrote. And if you could put in some, what do you think about adding a couple of references to some of the things he put in there? Because he has a number of citations and even some pictures of some of the mixed use neighborhoods. I see you have, okay, you got them down here.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But there we go. I was going to say typo there. I think we just need a little, I think we need a lead into those references that says as illustrated at the following websites or something like that.
So the way I wrote that was those links should go below the next paragraph below it, because it's meant to be showing that Orange County used to be developed this way. Now they're abandoning it, and all these projects are in Orange County where they're abandoning drive-to malls and making them live on property, mixed use type of development.
That's what the sentence says. As brick and mortar stores have been closing, malls across the country have been converting to mixed use. This has been particularly true in Orange County, as illustrated by the following references.
I think a colon is needed and maybe some type of indent to really show. So maybe a smaller font might be helpful, maybe to font 10.
Maybe you put it in a footnote. I don't know. What do you think of that? But
that's probably fine. I mean, you could even take snapshots from it if you wanted more pictures.
Maybe italicize the word. But I like the idea of emphasizing that this is regressive planning, that we're moving backwards.
Yeah. I have a question about contributions. Jason mentioned pictures. How effective are pictures versus links to websites?
Well, we definitely want the links because there's detail.
Mm-hmm.
Random pictures don't tell you anything. So I'd use them in combination, but I would not remove the URL because people should take a look.
Yeah, we want to source it for sure.
I think pictures are nice when we have them to show if there was a particular one. It would be nice if we had one picture anyway in there. That would be nice.
Okay.
Well, there's 3 links here that all have pictures. You could probably find one. Insert.
Okay.
Because you have the word abandoning in capital letters there in that paragraph. Why don't you capitalize the word regressive?
Okay, I wanted to ask what was meant. I actually don't follow the language there. So I get it would be regressive to plan such a large parcel on the few that'll ever become available in San Pedro. In the same way others are abandoning what?
Planning, abandoning that style of planning.
Yeah,
You're not seeing new developments where there's large strip malls that are drive-to strip malls.
right.
That's just not a thing.
Strip mall, should we say?
No, I would-
Large.
Maybe you could just put after a large parcel, plan such a large parcel in this way, comma,
No,
there's
wait.
plan such a large parcel in this way.
yeah,
No, I have that in the same way, in this way, right?
yes.
Regressive plan such a large parcel, one of the few that ever in the same way. Okay, but
You also might want to stay available in or near San Pedro, just to not torque the Wilmington folks, even though it's our property, they think they own it. In the same, so planning in the same way. So if you take out the clarification of one of the few that'll be available, senses it would be aggressive to plan such a large parcel in the same way that others are abandoning and increasing the rates across the country. I think that makes perfect sense. The comma, clarification there was just to say that it's, by the way, we're never going to get this thing again in San Pedro like this size.
I see two hands, so Rock, you were first.
Yeah, I really apologize for not hearing this last week because I wish I did. What was their general tone? I saw the notes that you put together and the responses and whatever, but what was their general tone of how they were going to approach whatever they think they may be doing?
It seemed to me here's what we want to do, and we're going to try to rush it forward. That's how I felt.
There was a ton of excitement that they felt this was what the Wilmington community in particular wanted. And they seemed very resistant to suggestions of housing.
My reaction was surprise.
So Brooke has his hand up.
Surprise for what?
Oh, it was just as in surprise, like it's June, we have some renderings and the ball is we're pushing the ball, right?
They weren't used to locals talking.
I think so. So either they are presenting something for us to noodle on, if you will, but ultimately it was a pretty well thought out first draft. And so, but that being said, I want to I see Brooke and Pat, the hands are up. I'm not sure which one went first.
Brooke was.
Okay, thank you.
I was
Just really quick, Kane, I don't know if you know me, but I am a local realtor, so I am interested in housing. But I've been on both sides of this issue where the corporate entity comes out and wants to develop a number of things, whatever. So they're going to be hit with a bunch of different stuff. So FYI.
Okay.
Brooke?
Sorry. I was just going to go back and comment on this paragraph that there's two ideas. One about the plan being regressive and that's old fashioned and it's being abandoned. And the other idea that this is a large parcel that's available in and near San Pedro. And I think part of the problem this has become a clumsy paragraph because it's trying to do two ideas in one sentence. And so you guys that are great wordsmiths, I would suggest splitting that into two separate sentences. One that talks that this is a large, unusual opportunity, a unique opportunity in San Pedro, and it would be regressive to use it in a short-sighted manner.
I love that, Brooke. Love this starting off with its unique opportunity and then the short-sighted and regressive plan. I have a suggestion. Given those ideas, can we just go back? Do we have to finish that now, or can we take that thought? Would it be okay with the committee if we took that back and just revised that paragraph to reflect that sentiment?
Well, I also still think we can understand it, but I wanted to try to make what Jason's saying a little bit clearer. So I wanted to propose two alternatives, if you can see them now. And we can make them capitalized or bold them, but what's the committee's reaction to my first paragraph that starts, it would be short-sighted and regressive? And I've learned with policymakers to say exactly what it is. If you're saying, there's too much, others that are abandoning it. It's if you look at that alone, I don't think people reading this are going to get what we're saying. So, but I want to make sure I'm getting at Jason's comment. Are we comparing it to single use, warehouse, retail, heavy developments versus our mixed use?
I like your paragraph.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the warehouse part, but moving away from single use,
You could change to big box instead of warehouse.
Okay, big box. Okay.
yeah, big box,
Yeah, that's the term they used.
or retail heavy developments towards more mixed use. And moving away from that,
And towards more mixed use, yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
and then just take out the rest.
Or
of it.
just put it towards mixed use. Don't say more mixed use, say towards mixed use.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be more.
And is that mixed commercial use or?
Mixed use usually is used in the planning sense as mixed housing and commercial.
Okay.
Maybe should I put that in, including housing and commercial?
Slash
right.
retail if you want. Commercial makes me think more of offices.
Yeah, retail.
Retail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's a better.
Commercial means a lot of things.
You're right.
It
Nice.
doesn't mean just retail, it means office, it means display, show house, all sorts of stuff.
Mm,
Now
Thank
need to
you.
take out the earlier paragraph.
Really just non-residential is really what it is.
Thank you, Jason. And thank you, Rock. Pat, you took your hand down, and Rock, your hand is still up, or
My
was that
hand's still up.
No, I just got a cramp in my arm, so that's
My
Hey,
hand.
Pat. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, I was responding. I wanted to respond to Rock, or really ask Rock. Do you understand what it is that Phillips 66 has proposed, or are you unclear on what they're looking at for their 10-acre and 75-acre parcels?
I don't really know, Pat. I just saw a list of things that they had proposed, which seemed like the normal type of things and things we requested. So I don't know exactly what they proposed. So that's true.
Yeah, on the north side, they're looking at a combination of a little bit of retail, possibly a small box Costco, I guess, and then some recreational facilities, soccer fields in particular. They say they're responding to Wilmington's requests, particularly for something like a Costco, but also they don't want any more housing, apparently. And on the south side, you're talking about retail, but with also about 4.5 miles of walking paths and several playground areas. That'd be kind of on the flat area before the hill where the refinery is. And then on the hill, they're looking at 800,000 square foot of basically concrete tilt-up warehousing space with access under the freeway to get trucks in and out of the warehouse space to get under the freeway and then back and then onto the freeway 110 north and southbound.
Yeah. And I guess the council's idea is like, why can't you throw more housing in there, right?
I think we're trying to meld a couple of things. One that we haven't gotten to yet, but certainly, what have we been spending our time on for the last year or 2 years? But it's on the zoning that's been required, spot zoning and otherwise, to accommodate the demands of the state and the cities trying to comply with the demand for 459,000, 456,000 additional housing units in Los Angeles. And so, it's kind of mystifying to find this area where you got 85 acres or so, where you could put mixed use and put a whole lot of units. And if you had the Ponte Vista density in there on the 10-acre site on the north side alone, you could put in a couple of hundred units. And if you stacked them on top of retail or spilled them down the bank towards the park and everything, you could put in a couple hundred. But there's not a single word of that in their plans. So I think that's part of the impetus. Is it's like, what have we been spending our time on? What's the city been spending its time on? And you guys aren't responding to it at all in terms of your plans for this property. The other is, and I'm not sure, Diana, whether it's in here, but I've been harping Rock at the meeting and otherwise is that taking a kind of a 10,000 foot overview of
Are you commenting on housing right now? Because right now we're just talking about the housing section, Pat.
yeah, I want to fill
Yeah,
Rock in on the one other thing too. I don't know if you got to it or not, but we have other options for recreational space, and we know we need
yeah,
recreational.
that's a different, hold off on that comment, Pat, until we finish this section.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll come back at the end and ask if there's anything missing, and then you can bring that up. Thomas is busy making some,
Yeah, so I just wanted to see if Jason's okay with updating what you said about the silver line. You okay with second paragraph I have? I think I've got everything.
Sure.
yeah,
And then on the Playa Vista, I added one more citation and then kind of rewrote this as well. Linking it, it's pretty similar. But trying to focus on the people-centered and the economically vibrant to give two of the reasons.
You want to mention anything in there about how mixed use can reduce crime in an area that's vacant otherwise at night?
That's good. Yeah, that came up a lot. Also, plans vacant at night, creating safety issues. Something like that. Something like that, Jason. Mitigates
Ha-
use plans or
having,
Mitigates concerns that it would be vacant at night.
yeah,
well, yeah, there's our picture though. So whoever wanted the picture, beautiful picture, Jason.
They've hired the same landscape architect as.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jason. I didn't see. We actually just rewrote what was at the bottom of the picture. I didn't. Sometimes pictures do this weird thing where they're I don't know why it's doing that. We'll get all the text there. Okay, there we go.
Sam, it sounds like you made a great comment.
No, I was just saying that the Rios is the same landscape architect they said they hired for this project, which is which you have linked there for the runway Playa Vista.
So they're doing their homework. All right. Diana, as we have quite a few sections, there's grammar and formatting. But are there some areas that you want to pick out if people who've contributed, you want to ensure that we have a good, strong second draft? We can review it and follow up later. But as we got a few more pages to go through, just wanted to just bring things to a high level beyond format
And leave
and,
us, yeah, and leave that to be done afterwards. I think that's a good idea. I have a question on number 3, Sam. Are you saying in here that Catalyst and DECA have both been involved in repurposing of refinery sites?
Well, I was reading that Catellus specifically, I guess they repurposed the refinery site in the Bay Area to housing, to single family homes.
Great. Just want to make sure.
Oh, do you have a link to that? That'd be a nice little zinger to put in.
Yeah, let me just pull it up.
is there a way to put it in the chat?
Yeah, that's
So
the one problem is, this is the only Zoom I use that doesn't have chat. So yeah, normally when you're secretary, they put in the chat and I can paste it.
What you can do is you can just send it to us so we can add it afterwards, Sam.
And if you email it to me, Sam, I could then copy it from the email.
Yeah, let me find it.
But we can move on. If we're just waiting for a citation, I'll know where to put that for number 3. Do we want to move
Yeah.
on to the warehouse section?
who spoke to the warehouse section?
I wrote that. I want to add, at the end, I want to add the 110 freeway.
Okay, what paragraph?
The very after, right where you have the, yeah, right.
After Gibson? Okay, so give me the language.
And the 110 freeway.
Okay, and 110.
And did I misspell catalyst? CATELLUS, but we'll go back and correct that. Okay.
Oh, no, if you can tell me now how it's spelled, I don't know this company.
Another L.
Get one more out.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the
All right.
furthermore section, warehousing is becoming increasingly automated, and where warehouses or distributors such as Amazon are aggressively eliminating many of the jobs that previously existed in this segment.
Oh, okay. So I found that spot again. Where do you want me to start inserting, Jason?
You know what? I can take this down as a note and we can just.
Okay, all right.
As and companies such as Amazon
Are aggressively eliminating.
Yeah.
This
Tom.
class of jobs, this class of employment, however you want to word it,
Yeah.
just to get that thought across.
Yeah. So we can add that.
Okay. Got the idea there at least.
Yeah, if you want to leave a marker, Thomas, like insert here or something like that, that way you can get to it quickly with the citations. That might be helpful.
Well, one thing I want to ask Kane is, then are we having another meeting? Like how are we, we're going to vote on something. So I tend to want to change it here so we all know what we're voting on, because otherwise you give the editor the ability to change. And, I trust, we can trust Diana, but just want to think about the process then on how will we know when this goes from the committee to its recipient. And Diana, you can kind of share with the committee how you've done that, because I'm new at this too. You've been doing this for decades.
Well, this goes from the committee to the board. And then and at the board meeting, it's possible there will be some other changes suggested. And sometimes the board just simply will delegate it to a couple of people to make those changes and incorporate them and then move on, which is kind of what I think Kane was saying earlier when he said, let's not worry about the minor things that need to be corrected. Let's delegate that to, I think, Thomas and Diana to do afterwards, but let's make sure we've got all the thoughts in here that we want. Is that what you were saying, Kane?
Yes, because we got 15 pages and these are all heavy,
Yeah.
subtopics.
We've run into this in the past, and what we've done, particularly on environmental documents and
Mhm.
comments on those, is that we use these sessions as brainstorming, and lots we can do when we meet, but then sometimes we end up doing the Scrivener work afterwards, and then before we send it on to the board, we would circulate it to everybody and say, did I get it right?
Mm.
what changes need to be made and so forth before we submit it to the, to be
Well,
published.
Unfortunately, we have to submit this Thursday morning, so we don't have much time.
Well, that's
Right.
right. It's on Tuesday night, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And just so everybody's clear in the process, so what was confusing me is we said we're going to wanted to have this initial feedback before that time, but that doesn't preclude us taking it to our board in June, and then the board is going to give the feedback prior to the presentation in July, right?
Right. That's exactly what the plan is.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so where do we want to go next?
Your community engagement and transparency. Kane, I have a comment here on your second paragraph, and I'm not quite sure how to deal with this. You talk about there is some kind of a committee, not a task force, I'm told, but a committee that Councilmember McOsker has had. A more important group is the task force or committee that DECA and Catalyst have. They have a community group that has been meeting regularly and has met a lot more often than the council members. So they all
right,
have a community group which includes representatives from Wilmington and San Pedro.
right, right.
So somehow I think we need to acknowledge that as well.
Thank you. I've only been looking at it from the Northwest lens, if you will, or San Pedro lens. And so thank you for that reminder.
And there are San Pedro people on that body, it's not just Wilmington.
Who are they? Do we know?
I know that Elise is on there. I know that Mike, Lou from the schools is on there. The executive director of Toberman is on there. Ryan Blaney is evidently on there. I don't have the full list, but
Right. And that's the reason why I wanted to add something to this transparency, where there's overlap from the neighborhood council, and then there's for lack of term, special interests. How do we stay on the same page?
yeah,
And we're all singing the same song.
just want to make sure to acknowledge that they have this.
Thank you.
I think it's an advisory committee, not a task.
Okay. Yeah. And
So I'm trying to acknowledge that here.
Yeah, that's very good. Advisory committee, I would take out the word that's collecting community feedback on them. It's an advisory committee.
Okay.
Yeah. These committees provide a strong foundation.
so
Well, actually,
The council members committees only met like once or maybe twice, whereas the other one is meeting regularly, providing feedback.
but are they both, so that's what I was trying to understand, Anna. Do we want to make sure that one that the private sector groups have created have the same level of public accountability and regional coordination, or do we want to just commend both of them for
Well, I think what he's trying to do is go beyond that and say that they need to align their engagement strategies. And then we need to have more public knowledge of what they're doing.
yes.
how
Take
about
that to a-
both committees provide a strong foundation for collaboration. We encourage DECA to align their engagement strategies to ensure greater, or how, just to ensure public accountability and regional coordination, or to maximize.
Ask Kane.
Yeah. It's communication. It's more communication for me, because again, it's some feedback from somebody. Thank you. For me, it's more communication. There's a lot of stakeholders involved, and we're not driving the bus. So again, I think they could do a better job in communicating. Rock, to one of to your question that you asked, the approach, I had asked in a meeting in that meeting, how were they collecting feedback and data? And the young lady, she raised up her notebook, and and I was like, with all the money that we're spending here, this can't be a collection of Post-its and and notes. This
That
this
would
is
be
a
messy.
Yeah. So, and again, that accountability is post, said and done, is that when we look back, who was involved, how do we come to some decisions? We can't, track everything because we don't have a budget on our side, but ultimately, you know, what stack of Post-its do we look for is the question that I'm asking right now. So I won't belabor it, but I was actually again surprised that they weren't taking the back end care on on all this data collection and feedbacks from multiple stakeholders.
They just don't know. Okay. So it's not
Mhm.
something they do every day. So it sort of like becomes a big project and they learn as they go. It'll get better. I trust me. I mean, you don't have to trust me. Please don't trust me. But I mean, they'll get better. They'll get more used to it with the engagement, whatever. They'll get into it. The counterparts will sort of be excited about what can actually happen here. So I mean, it's a transformation type thing. So
Yeah.
that's my feeling.
And
So-
and and to just, if I could say this, Diana, to it, they do appear, and again, they're playing ball, right? They are forthcoming as best as they can. So this is not, it doesn't seem like they have a team of 25 people working on this. It sounds like it's a very, very small team. It feels like a small team. I could say that. Um, but that's again speaking to this particular contribution.
And that's good. You don't want them to have a huge team. You want to be able to talk to just a few people.
Okay. I can follow up with on the benefits of that.
But you've spelled a lot of that out in the following paragraph, but well, it's gone now on the screen.
Sorry, I got, just while we were talking about that, I got the citation. Thank you very much, Sam.
Go
Thank
back
you.
over where,
Here we go.
that sentence that's there, this is both committees provide. That sentence right now doesn't make sense. Both committees provide a strong foundation for collaboration, and we encourage them to continue to provide information to the community, to what was it you said, Kane? I wanted to capture that.
Yeah, communication.
And to continue to communicate actively with the community.
Yes.
Okay,
Get feedback.
encourage them to continue to actively
Yeah.
communicate with the community.
And
And
again,
my
they are.
overall suggestion on this document is to make it as simple as possible. Okay. And not over legislate it and whatever. It look like you want to participate and work with them and that type of thing. And that's pretty much it. And communicate.
Yep. And community surveys, meeting agendas, that might be a lot. Key time. So if I could, Thomas, a public timeline, that's helpful. We could probably take out, meeting agendas
But
and notes.
your bullets are pretty simple, Kane. I don't know,
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know. You can ask Rock if that's what he meant, but I think bullets are simpler than a whole paragraph in this. So
I would support your idea, Kane, of taking out the reference to meeting agendas and notes and just say upcoming engagement opportunities. Yeah, leave the engagement opportunities, because like that.
Yes.
so
I don't know if I mean anything, but
For all meeting agendas and notes, it's going a little far.
So Control Z, Thomas, and
wait, so put this back or what?
yep,
What do we
just
want to delete?
Just a portal that would feature upcoming engagement opportunities. So for, oh, sorry. Let me, one of the bullets in the bullets.
Oh,
Feature. Feature. And then the second bullet, take out the second one.
okay, well, I thought we,
Start with the
Couldn't
word
just-
upcoming.
Not the whole thing, not the whole thing.
oh, not the whole thing, okay.
Just put back in upcoming engagement opportunities.
Okay, I'll just keep that part.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Yep. And everything else is clear. That section is clear.
Does anybody mind if we put the public timeline first? I think that's the thing people want to know. So
Yeah.
like the thing I've heard most is when is this happening?
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
contact information is good at the end. Okay, I like right input. Do we want to justify it with this, or if we want to simplify it? We could delete this or we can keep this. I'm indifferent.
Yeah, I think it's we could take it out, and the reason why is because we do know who the project manager is on their side. What I was speaking to is it's more of a coordinated event from our side. We don't have a budget to hire somebody who can follow and track these things, and
Mhm.
so basically a coordinator, that's looking up for us. So again, if they were to provide one, that would be awesome. But
Okay.
um, this is just some background on the, what I drew from the Crenshaw, Destination Crenshaw, and Sierra Madre corridor. There was some lessons again about culture. Sorry, not about culture, but in terms of just engagement. This might be redundant.
If it's redundant, please take it out.
There's
one-
something different. The equity resilience is not redundant.
No.
And then we should probably talk about 1, 2. What do we think they should form a permanent CAC on this?
Yes.
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 Okay, and then should the forums be multilingual in both in-person and virtual? Keep that.
Yes.
Okay, the public-facing timeline with milestones could be redundant because they have it up there. Might actually, I want to look at this compared to what we had here. Is that, if we put it here, is it better to put the detail? Or do you want to keep it there because you got the milestones? So just wanted to.
It's redundant. It's redundant. But it's we do need some sort of portal or web. I don't want to say website because then there's questions on if things are updated. And again, not that a portal can be updated, on the minute, but ultimately a place where we're all getting centralized information.
It seems to me that what we've got is you've got recommendations in 2 places, and then maybe they should be combined into 1 paragraph rather than being in 2 places.
Well, if this is the portal, we can get rid of that one, and this is part of the portal. I see number 4 is unique, so the CAC is unique. Making sure that's multilingual is a different ask. It could be somewhere else. And then your equity resilience goals aren't anywhere else either. So, but Diana, should we put all the bullets? Maybe should we make this?
Yeah, that should go down with recommendations.
Yeah, and then we could make this like recommendation number 4, the portal with the details.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
why is it doing that?
we come back and finalize that.
Yeah.
I would like to add in number 3, after the word workforce transition programs, I would like to add local hiring.
Okay.
Okay, so give me the language, Santa. What about local hiring?
Just after the word workforce transition programs in number 3.
Oh, okay, it's gonna be within there, okay.
After that comma,
Just not its own bullet, just within three, okay. Local hiring, got it.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay, harbor area deserves a process that reflects the gravity of transition and a deep, it could be taken out. It's just kind of a summary to that section.
okay,
This speaks, everybody to the youth component. This project's gonna affect the younger people. And we should, as I'm also on another committee, just figuring out how to engage and keep the young people involved in this conversation.
The sentence that says that someone engaged in both neighborhood governance and youth mentorship needs to be changed because this is coming from the board. So I think that whole lead-in needs to come out and just say, we urge the entitlement managers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
And
Some sort of youth board.
it's not, Councilmember McOsker doesn't, it's not a task force, but I would just say urge and Councilmember McOsker. And leave it at that.
yep,
Okay. Again, more outreach workshops, youth-centered surveys, and as if art projects could arise out of this, that they're engaged in that, in the look, in the feel of the development. So just adding it in there now, while we have the chance to do it. The next section that I contributed to was honoring the local heritage of San Pedro, industries that have been here, and obviously how important this port area is to the nation. A rock from the renderings that they had, it was kind of sterile, of course, again, first draft, but taking advantage of our particular history, and hopefully people will want to come here. And
yeah, I like this. The historical groups, should like this recommendation. Very well done, Kane.
I
It's
think
pretty short. It's just half a page. Anybody else? Don't see any reaction to that one. Can I move to Gaffey Street improvements?
And Diana, I did notice that was there any proposal? I had put like a proposal proposing that any warehousing or industrial use to include generational leasing strategy or long-term lease for local entrepreneurship.
That should be up, but I'm sorry, I must have accidentally deleted that. That should be up under the warehouse section, I think.
Okay.
Well, if it's not in here now.
Essentially some sort of set aside for acceleration, alt to C, if you will, for this particular project, where there's some entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it does, it deals, yeah.
Okay, there's a language there. Creating flight, variety of manufacturing, entrepreneur, startup business developer on the space at Altsea.
Yep.
So that's in there. So any changes, or you just wanted to make sure we had it?
Just make sure we had it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, good. All right.
All right. We're on page 6 of 14. Who contributed to the Gaffey Street improvements?
I did.
You want to speak to it, Sam?
Yeah, and there might be some overlap here with what Jason has, I think, with the transit. But I think what I'm trying to emphasize with the connectivity is that, this provides an opportunity to connect with the Greenbelt. I don't know the correct term for it, so maybe Diana, you want to jump in here, but I think I called it, yeah, you had North Gaffey Greenbelt,
That's what we call.
which
that's what
happens,
we refer to
yeah,
it.
across there from Target. And then the project that's recently completed on Front Street. For connecting, you know, this parcel with bike and pedestrian routes to the waterfront and up to the regional park.
I thought it was really good. I stuck in there with the connection to the underpass, because there's an underpass that would go under the street to connect into Harbor Regional Park. You want to talk about the inviting street edge?
Yeah, sorry, my daughter just came in. Could you keep moving on? I'll come right back to me. Sorry, just give me a moment.
It's fine. Is this your section? You want to talk about public transit, Jason?
Sure.
Here's the nice pictures you have.
Right, so LA Metro's long-range plans have not changed much in a long time. There is an eventual connection that they will, maybe in our lifetimes, maybe not, build out to San Pedro, connecting the same thing, which was the Green Line, and I forget what letter they use because I'm still calling it the Green Line. That is LA Metro owns those rail, that track, and that track is built out, and they're going to build it out. They funded the build out up to Torrance. Well, eventually that same line is what you see with the little train track symbol there on that map there, which goes kind of to Wilmington. And long range, they had planned to have this send a branch down towards St. Pedro. They hadn't decided on the route yet. They're just showing alternatives, and another branch towards Long Beach. Again, they have some alternative routes there. And eventually they wanted to connect, if you scroll down a little bit. They wanted to connect to 6th and Harbor, where they anticipated overlapping with the red car, which was subsequently removed, much to my chagrin and other people's. But we won't bring that up again right here. Anyway, so the eventual terminus of what Metro had planned was Harbor and 6th. Okay, so one of the pieces they don't own is this piece that skirts along Gaffey and goes up towards PCH. Also in the long range plans, if you scroll down, I'm not sure what order things got put in. It's like when you change the spacing, it moves images, and then the text gets kind of clobbled in the wrong spot. So,
this one here, Vermont
corridor? Yeah. So the Vermont corridor eventually is going to be expanded to the same location that that the Green Line is inching towards, which is PCH and the 110. So scroll down just a little bit.
Oh.
So right there, PCH and 110. So you have coming from Torrance angle and from the airport, the Green Line, and you have coming from downtown, the Vermont corridor, which so far they plan to put kind of like a transit center there at PCH and 110. I've seen some of the drawings for it, proposals. Right now there's a bus stop right for the Silver Line. So at some point the Silver Line, I don't know, maybe at some point Silver Line even goes away once Vermont is there. Long range, long range. The first step is they're converting it to bus rapid transit. Second step is extending that down to this location here to H and I. And the third step is a conversion to light rail. So maybe, you know, our children will be dead by then. But the point is that this is their plan. And so this gets us, you know, teasingly close to where the property is that would go to San Pedro. That little right of way that a large section of it, the most difficult thing to acquire would have been the private property that was Phillips 66. Well, guess what? That's open now. So I don't expect this rail to be built anytime soon. But what I do want to do is have them put that right of way to a purpose that they don't block it. They don't put a big building there that's impossible to move, for example, something that would prevent this from happening in the future. Whether it's maybe the first cut is bus rapid transit, maybe later convert the whole thing to rail. That's fine. Whatever it is, keep that right away so that we can connect the parcel down towards San Pedro, towards the cruise terminal, and towards our downtown harbor area. So the whole emphasis of the rapid transit, or the public transit section I wrote, was to say there's two different plans for two different rail lines. They're coming to the same spot. long-range plans do go to San Pedro for LA Metro. Please, 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 do two things. One, put this in your plans to not build it to the point where it would be incredibly expensive and awkward to remove what would be built there in the future. And two, coordinate with LA Metro. Tell them that this is available now. And if I know LA Metro, you may want this in the future, maybe it's 20 years from now, but what can we do with this property that won't, screw that up for you in the future when you get around to building our public transit?
So I think that sentence that said it would be far-sighted to provide for this, I think maybe we could reword that sentence to say what you just said.
Yeah, I'll also say that I didn't word this. This was all worded in a hurry and more train of stream of consciousness than trying to write, some great literary work. It's kind of short on time.
So, Thomas, you want to reword it, or do you want?
There's a couple paragraphs or sentences farther up too that I think by moving stuff they kind of got, I'm not sure if those are all in the right spot. It's because when you a text doc, you hit return, add some stuff up top, it just pushes everything down. And
No, I know I was having that trouble too with the way the pictures are. So special attention to be paid. I mean, this makes sense.
The plan of future use of harbor right, the number 1 doesn't need to be there because there isn't a number 2. When I stuck that number 1 in, I thought there was a number 2.
Well, no, actually there is underneath. That's where we've got to look under the photo here or something. Let's see. Okay. No, I guess there is no number 2.
you can change the way the image works so words don't wrap around it, so it has to be above or below it. Just go ahead.
All right, LA Metro on the track. So I'll get rid of the 1. Or was the number 1 because that was going to be the heading for that picture? But yeah, I'll get rid of the 1.
I think I stuck the number 1 in there thinking there was a number 2 and there wasn't.
Okay.
So.
All right, so if we want to wordsmith this last, we're going to be far cited to provide for.
If we took that out and just started with, we recommend that.
Okay, there we go.
Care be taken not to place any difficult to remove improvements on this right of way. And that Catalyst and DECA meet with LA Metro to discuss their possible future use of this area, of this parcel.
This right of way of this, or establishing a right of way for future use by LA Metro.
Yeah.
Copy them. Way to spell that. Is DECA capitalized or lowercase? I've seen it mostly lowercase. Does anybody know? Okay, to discuss their give me the language again.
Say, Jason, you had
Yeah,
the word.
so recommend that Terry can be taken not to place any difficult to remove improvements on this right of way. And we also request that Catalyst and DECA meet with LA Metro to discuss their future plans and how right of way extension south towards San Pedro is best implemented on this parcel.
And Jason, is there a way to be super specific? Like, do we give them coordinates or do
Got
we give them?
pictures. Got pictures.
Oh,
There's another
picture.
one that we haven't maybe scrolled down to yet, unless Thomas didn't put it in there. I have one showing the Scroll down. So yeah, that one. There's the.
Perfect. And then,
So are you happy with that then? The wording, pretty good.
Diana,
Yeah, I think it meets a lot better.
Yeah, we give an action for them to do.
mhm. Okay. All
I'd
right.
love to be a fly on the wall in that LA Metro.
And then is this the image you were talking about where there's a specific spot?
Well, the blue line just shows the path along their parcel. The parcel's in orange. If you wanted to say right of way in blue, Phillips 66 parcel highlighted in orange.
Okay, so is it in orange now or this beige color?
Well, yeah, peach, salmon, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, you see
Whatever.
how much it is, right? It really solves a lot of this problem, right? If you have right away alongside here.
Yeah, a
Oh,
big stretch of it is, and yeah, that was
oh,
always this gap that it was going to be awkward to try to approach the oil company who usually doesn't care to give up land. With that.
Well, this is a real golden opportunity to connect the port, right? The port should be all over this for the cruise terminal,
Port, as you know, doesn't care about that.
but they should be, you know, and even for their workers and, you know, things, but I don't know, it's a really good idea, Jason. So I like that you put this in here.
Oh, we just have a lot of organizations that work in boxes and they do stuff that sabotages potential great things because the other org is in a different box and they didn't look over the, look over the wall to see what's going on.
mm-hmm. We have to set it up for them. We have to.
That's right.
That's great insight and great foresight for sure.
Yeah, so
What I might do is I might put figure 1, 2, and 3, Jason, just put these at the end of the document if I can't figure out how to do that, but I do.
I can help you with formatting if you want. If you need help with formatting, when we're all done here, send it to me.
Okay. All right, do you want to do traffic mitigation next?
Sure. Okay. 5 points. That is like the worst intersection on the planet as far as St. Peter's is concerned. It's already terrible. I mean, you guys have been through it. Waiting to turn left, or it's just a whole bunch of idling and problems, right? I know people in West Coast seem to be terrified of traffic circles / roundabouts, but statistically, everything is better with traffic circle roundabout. Throughput, safety, pollution, everything, noise, everything's better. So if there was ever a spot to implement a traffic circle, this is it. I've provided some links showing why they're better. I've provided statistical analysis from Pennsylvania DOT and Florida DOT, just ones that popped up. I'm sure California has one as well. That just talk about this, and they're all largely in agreement that we work the same way. That everything is cheaper, faster, safer, prettier. Another point is being prettier. What a great entryway from that side anyway to enter the 5 points development. But the centerpiece. In Europe, you often see statues here and things like some beautiful statue or fixture or flower bed, something, I don't know, something with a nice sign.
With Smiling Jack in the middle there.
Whatever gets that traffic circle in there, I don't care. But I mean, initially they had a park stuffed in there. And I'm just, who really wants to sit in that little corner with 5 streets worth of traffic going by at the park? I don't know why people constantly think that anyone wants to recreate right next to busy freeways and intersections, but certainly a traffic circle there would beautify it. Traffic would flow much better, and we're going to only get more and more traffic in this area if this development does anything, even if it's just a commute commercial, much less a mixed use. There's going to be a lot more car trips.
Jason, under Florida DOT, you talk about safety, and a lot of what you've got in there is a repeat of what you had under the first study.
Right. It's just redundant, showing that multiple states have come to the same conclusion.
Can we delete the second reference?
Remember the Florida one?
Well, you could I guess if you, maybe you want to delete what's redundant, but there's some other stuff in it that's not redundant, so I wouldn't just pull out everything. You could say addition to the above, Florida DOT cites the following, because there's some bullet points that are not cited in the top. And strip out the ones that are different, but largely it's to the same.
How is everybody doing on time?
Oh, I haven't had food yet, so I'm hungry, but so
Good now as I have my salad. Huh.
The 10 to 40% range on the bicycle crashes didn't make sense to me.
10% to 40% fewer.
Yeah, but that's a big range.
That's what was in this study.
I know, so maybe we just want to say fewer pedestrian bicycle crashes.
Fewer doesn't mean anything. It could be 1% fewer.
Well, but 10% to 40%, I don't understand how you would have that kind of a statistic. Wouldn't it be either 10% fewer, 20% fewer, 40% fewer?
I think well, probably if you look at the study, you'd find that one type of traffic circle is replacing a larger intersection with multiple lanes. One is on a side street, and they probably have different safety benefits. And
Oh.
whoever wrote the summary didn't clarify, so they put that. So you could say 10 to 40. Well, what's in between there?
Yeah.
5, say 25% fewer on average.
Or how about if I say up to 40? Do you like that better,
Up
Diana?
to 40, sure. Up to 40 crashes depending on the number of lanes.
If I may jump in here, the Pennsylvania study is mostly about safety. And matter of fact, the statistics you're thing are all about safety. So instead of separating them and leading off, why don't we say something like that the studies from Pennsylvania DOT and Florida DOT have highlighted these: safety, time savings, money savings, and take those statistics from the Pennsylvania study and expand the list under the Florida DOT, and just say Pennsylvania and Florida, studies from Florida and Pennsylvania have highlighted the following advantages or something.
Sure.
Just
then we put both links together and they can go look it up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get rid of all the detail. You want me to delete all this, is what you're saying?
No, I think we
if there are, I'm sorry, Jason. If there's any bullets at the top under the Pennsylvania ones that aren't redundant with the Florida ones, let's add them in on the Florida list and then get rid of all the redundant ones.
delete the redundant ones. Don't bother saying which study they're from, just saying from these two studies, and we'll get rid of the ones that says, oh, this is injury, this is. If you want,
Exactly.
I can help you clean that up also. I said it's half baked. I just had to get this thing. Sorry. Normally I'd take a little more time to put it together.
And yes, that's not probably clear that FWA is Pennsylvania to a novice. So
if you want, we don't have to minutia over this. I'll clean it up and reduce those.
Okay. All right.
A bulleted set of reductions and saying they came from two studies.
All right.
And there's some pictures. So then I talked a little bit about the activated space and the tree line sidewalk abutments. This reminded me of a Strode. If you don't know what Strode is, it's a street that you're trying to smash pedestrian uses and higher capacity street uses together. They're kind of in urban planning, lore. They're like the nightmare of, urban sprawl as a Strode, where you're trying to get cars through someplace quickly, but also you have passenger or pedestrians in close proximity. So I saw that picture of, you know, the 4-lane road, and then there was a sidewalk with a little strip of green, and then parking lot right next to you. Who wants to walk along that, right? So that was just like stream of thought, comments.
Yeah.
No one wants to say, hey, let's go for a walk down Gaffey, around First Street. That's not pleasant. You're just trying to get some, you don't want to do that at all. And same on Western where cars are speeding by. Anaheim is a kind of a high speed road right now. Of course, they'll have to slow down for this, but they're probably going to add lanes. So it's going to be a big throughput type of street. And having pedestrian walkways beautified and highlighting that right near those car infrastructure components are not human friendly. So rather than emphasize that, I show a picture again from Playa Vista where they have a somewhat higher throughput road to the left, but a very expansive green space before you see the cars again. And then there's a small street and then residences. But the point being is cramming humans into a small green space and pedestrian space is not pleasant. People don't want to be there. But give them a little park, give them enough insulation from traffic, and it makes it a nice place to spend.
I agree with
This is one I had trouble with.
Jason. I've seen that in Boston.
And again, these comments were sort of meant to be
But
wordsmithed
Jason,
later.
Oh, Kane, I think your internet might be unstable. You're
but
cutting
Jason,
it out.
those okay.
I had a lot of trouble with this one. I like the fact that they're putting green space and a sidewalk along Anaheim there. It may not ever be used for people to walk on, but it makes a nice definition. It looks a lot better when you drive. And we want to encourage people to walk, and we want to encourage people to, that live across the street, to cross the street and walk. People are going to get off the bus. They may have to walk. They may want to walk the next little bit. So I don't want to discourage them from doing that nice frontage on Anaheim.
So I don't know if you remember some of the urban design guidelines that they talked about even for some of the Western redevelopment, where you bring the storefront closer to the road, sort of become a block against the traffic. So then the backside is more pedestrian friendly. This type of planning where you have a multi-lane road and then a small personal walking space and then a massive parking lot. This is again bygone era, old school commute type of planning that is unpleasant. I'm not necessarily saying
We'll talk about moving the parking lot to the back of the buildings. That's a different story. My concern is I want to keep the green and the sidewalk along Anaheim.
I mean, sure, you're never going to have me say don't put more trees around, but emphasizing that as the gal that you presented was like this great walking space. I'm looking at it going, there's no part of me that wants to walk there unless I have to get from some place to another.
There's a Brooke has her hand raised up.
Yeah, I just want to reemphasize or perhaps restate what Jason is saying. The concept, as I understand it, of a strode, the reason they call it is that streets are for local activity and pedestrian things, where roads are for through transportation. And that the bad part of urban design as we have in this country is that we have these things where we're trying to mash those two functions together, and that's why they're calling it a strode. And the idea instead is you have a thoroughfare that's set up for transportation, and then you also have a local area for pedestrians and your green belts and all that sort of stuff. And those are two separate and conflicting purposes. And so mashing it together just doesn't work. And you get like Jason is saying, you get a sidewalk along an extremely busy thoroughfare that no one wants to walk on. And Diana's correct that you want that green separation to make the thoroughfare more pleasant. But I think I agree 100% that we want to separate the thoroughfare aspect of Anaheim from the local parks and recreation and pedestrian activities that are going to be going on with this shopping center thing.
One,
And
one-
and
oh, sorry.
there's no way that the traffic on Anaheim is going to be reduced.
Right.
And they were talking about putting in traffic lights and slowing it down and all of that. And that's just not going to fly with the amount of vehicular traffic that gets.
It's a major
so-
commuter route for people.
Exactly. So that needs to be accommodated and somehow separated from this beautiful development they're talking about.
So I think, again, we could maybe look back to how Playa Vista's done it. I don't have all the right pictures, but some of the thoroughfare streets, maybe Washington is one of them. I forget which one. It's pretty busy. They don't emphasize that as a pedestrian street. It's there. There's trees along it, but the buildings come pretty close to it. And all the pedestrian activity is on the inside of it, protected by the outside of those buildings. So the way they've done it is the traditional island, stick your stuff in the middle of a massive parking lot with the little rings of grass and walkways around it. It's kind of awful. And I just didn't have time to really put together more thoughts on how to illustrate that. So that wording is just the best I could do.
Two things. Thank you, Jason and Brooke. Two things, if I remember from the meeting, is that they are going to consider some special pathway to get into the warehousing area. That they're gonna build something under the 110 freeway. Do you remember that, Pat? Diana?
Yeah, but this isn't what we're talking about. That's going to be, that's to accommodate new traffic that would be generated by a massive warehouse complex. So it never has to go on this road. Anaheim is already busy from commuter traffic as it is.
Okay.
We're not
And then-
gonna, that's not relevant.
The other part is that we're at 7:37. I want to allow for some time. I know we're actually at the end. So how much time do we want to open up for the next item? Well, and
We have a couple more comments on this one, I think, Kane.
yeah, I'm not closing this up yet, but I just wanted to make sure that we're looking at the end of the meeting. But if we want to take another 20 minutes for the meeting, is that all right with everybody?
Oh, yeah. So
Okay.
we gotta do this.
Okay, I just wanted to be respectful as we're
Do
past
do
this.
we have an expiration time on the Zoom meeting, though?
I don't believe we do. We should have an account. So at this point, we could stay all night if you're up for it, Pat. But nonetheless, we'll get back to this particular topic and close it out. Diane?
Well, finish with the Anaheim frontage. I've got something totally unrelated.
On the front end then, Jason, I know Diana maybe was kind of more against it, saying this is stream of consciousness for what we might keep in the letter. I think this is just your talking about it. So I was thinking of
Yes.
deleting this and trying to put this into a recommendation with respect to this development. We recommend avoiding creating a strode. And then I think we have to, like, I'd never heard of this before. So, and we don't even have to say what is the strode, just have the reference for what the strode is there. And the Playa Vista development provides a great example, or provides a useful model.
Useful blueprint as to how to accomplish it.
Blueprint, yeah, blueprint, that's good. That's two. Oh. to avoid a road. None of the pedestrian spaces.
Avoid creating a strode, I guess you could say.
Avoid creating
Avoid a strode.
strode. Note that this via Vista development.
Developments, pedestrian spaces.
Pedestrian spaces are focused along the high street.
Okay, none of.
Oh, okay.
Or you could say, or not focused, everyone.
No, spaces are not focused along the high. You want to put in a reference, we can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, wait a second. Their park. Is wide and expansive. Providing a buffer with rushing cars, picture of how beautiful it is, once in a lifetime, and you know, can keep or get rid of your Costco parking lot.
Yeah, I know, that was another one.
I think we'll get rid of it because it seems like half the people want a Costco there, so I don't know if we want to.
I don't mind a Costco as long as it's, you know, mixed
Yeah,
use.
no, a Costco's for a Costco, but you don't want the park to like a Costco. So if we keep it, there's that. Did you want to move to take this out though, Diana? Were you against the strode, or are you more comfortable with it like this?
I'm more comfortable with it like this.
Okay.
The way I read it, it sounded like we were against having the greenery along there at all, so.
No, it's,
And I think I think a sidewalk defines the street, so I have no problem with that. And people may want to, the bicycle path along Anaheim would be a good idea. So,
like a bicycle path on Western, though. It's scary to use.
Okay. All right, I think Kane had directed you then to go down. Sorry that I interjected, but I'm done with this topic. So Kane, if you want to move us on to the next.
that's the end of what was submitted.
Yeah, so look, if we could just clarify the process from now to the deadline, or to the so in the next 24 hours, everybody's going to actually let me rephrase this. And I'll be open to the process that you want to take, Diana, from here. Just
Ask Thomas, because he's taking I just know that we need to have it by Thursday morning. I need to be able to submit it to the board for the board package.
Once Thomas sends it to me, he can just highlight anything he wants me to wordsmith, and I'll fix this bullet list.
Well, how about I'll send it to you, Jason, to put the photos in the right spot. I've wordsmithed as much as I understand it needs to be changed. Then I'll give it to Diana for final grammatical or wordsmithing. Is that a good project that Jason and I get it, and we give it to you to submit, Diana, and we empower you to make any changes you see fit?
It's okay with me if you want to do that.
That's how I'd recommend it. So that's why I've learned to try to do as much as I can here, where you can watch me and people can say, no, you did it wrong, which is very helpful. So please don't think I take any offense. You know, Diana's good at doing it. We're comfortable, but Sam and Brooke and others, I got pretty strong ego. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You can rewrite everything. I just like to make sure it's a group effort. So. And Jason too have worked together, right? So that's where, I didn't mean to be stepping on Jason, just trying to get this into something we can have a finished product by that deadline.
Yep.
thanks everybody for the contributions. Thank you, Diana and Thomas, for collecting all of this information and contribution and synthesizing it in the work that we do.
All right, let me make sure I save it. That would be awful. And there we go. All right.
Before you say it, Thomas, I think there's a couple more things we need to do.
Okay.
Really? Brooke, is there something pertaining to this, or?
Yeah, just a general comment in the overall of watching this. I'm very impressed with the quality of the constructive feedback that this document represents. I read through it and thought, wow, that's really a great job. So just kudos to all of you guys that contributed to it. I think it's very useful. So that's all.
Thank you. It's important work. And so, going to the agenda, we have some marching orders for item number.
Kane, we need to finish this one still.
Oh, we're still working on this? I
We've
thought
got
we,
several hands up, including mine, which I didn't. Sam's got his hand up, Linda had her hand up, and I have my hand up.
oh,
And I
thank
think
you.
Pat has something to add.
Sam, please.
Yeah. Just maybe a suggestion, and depending on how everybody feels about it, maybe put the item on the community engagement first, because that's kind of talking more about the process of how this should go, and then the rest of the stuff following that, because that seems more about, suggestions about what's actually built and the physicality of it. I don't know how people feel about that, but that was just kind of my idea about the organization of the document overall.
And just community engagement, or would that include prioritizing youth outreach?
Yeah, I think those things that are kind of talking about the process for engaging.
Okay. Including the heritage part or not?
No, that wouldn't be part of that.
No.
Okay. All right.
I'd soft to accept that, Sam. More so the process than the youth. We want to make sure that we're getting to the heavy stuff first. If I could just quickly, and so Linda, sorry, I caught you with some food.
Caught me my mouthful. I just, I read through this earlier, and I'm so incredibly impressed. And frankly, I'm humbled that I'm allowed to be on this committee. Extraordinary work. And I'm sitting here thinking about how I need to chastise everybody on Central to step up and get involved and do something useful. Thank you.
Well, please don't get the central people mad at us. just
I want to shame them.
don't, yeah, just
We will send a copy of this to the other two neighborhood councils once the board adopts it.
Yeah. Good.
yeah. We don't need some of those people yelling at us or breathing down our necks. We want our members happy here. I want to protect the new people.
So
Diane,
I have a topic to add and a suggested sentence or two. It's a very short topic, and it has to do with the community room, and this is something that Ray would like to see in there. And so my suggested language is, we were pleased to see that a community room is included in the plans. We want to ensure that it will be available at no cost for use by community groups. We recommend that a committee be established with community representatives to develop policies for its use. So that's my suggested addition.
Okay.
It was a little bit too fast for me to type. So let's, can you read it again?
My suggestion of where it goes is right after the flexibility on the.
Okay, so let's start there. Flexibility.
On the warehouses, so right after the warehouse discussion.
Okay.
So the heading would be community room. Do you want me just to email it to you, Tom?
Well, I think we're almost done here. So we're pleased to see a community
We will
room.
see the community room is included in the plans. Want
Would,
to ensure that it will be available at no cost for use by community groups.
let's just see that. Okay, we wish to ensure
did we lose Eric?
this space is available to the community at no cost.
For community groups.
Okay, to community groups. All right, we're pleased to see a community room is included in the plan. We
And
wish to ensure that this space is available to community groups at no cost. Okay.
we recommend that a committee be established with community representatives to develop policies for its use. That's down the road, but still want to get that concept in there.
It's created to create. And so you're gonna have this at the end. If I miss something, yeah, just fix it now or fix it then. Is created to create policies regarding its use. Wanna feel like I'm missing something. We recommend that committee is created to create policies regarding its use.
Yeah,
That good? Okay.
How about a committee is established to create policies instead of created?
yep,
Established. There we go. Thank you. Okay.
that's what I said. I had in there. And then I think Pat had something he wanted to see added. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure he has it written out enough to. The question was there anything else that we needed to add?
We can try. I've been working with Pat on this type of stuff before, as long as it's not 2 pages. What section, Pat, should I move towards?
Well, I think there's two things. One has to do with availability of recreational facilities to address particularly
Ah.
Wilmington's desire for things, for soccer fields in their area. And I think that a part of the mitigation for this project, the need for recreation facilities, plus making room for the mixed use housing element, is to get the port to open up the Wilmington Waterfront Park and 22nd Street Park and a couple of other sites for organized play, including soccer. If we could enlist Phillips and the neighborhood councils assistance in getting the port to do that, then it would take some of the pressure off of Phillips to use the property for just for recreation and commercial and not for mixed use. That's one thing. The other thing is I'm really concerned about what's going to happen to the 110 freeway with 800,000 square feet of warehouse up there and all of it dumping under the freeway and then onto and off of the 110 freeway northbound and southbound. We want to be sure that they include that in their analysis and possibly a mitigation, dedicated traffic lanes and things like that.
Thank you,
So
Pat.
would that second one be under the flexibility and warehouses, or is this its own?
Well, there's a transportation element. I don't know, maybe tuck it into the section where the roundabout is discussed.
Well, I think if it's related to the warehouses, does it belong right after the warehouses as a section, like traffic concerns arising from
Sure, that'll do it.
warehouses? Because we do
Yeah.
talk a little bit about traffic. All right,
There
so
it is
let's,
right there, traffic concerns arising from warehouses.
yeah,
This is typically what happens in the notice of preparation and the scoping of a project for environmental analysis is that there's usually an issue about too limited a scope of study. And I can see that happening here with them cutting off their analysis of getting the trucks in and out of the warehouses and onto the freeway and stopping there and not taking a look at the impact on the freeway itself. So just as a note there, maybe almost a one sentence. Yeah, along with just access issues. Mm-hmm. And mitigate is misspelled there.
yeah, I see that. I don't know. I made up a new word, mitigate. All right.
Yeah, well, that's a good way. Gauging mitigation, sure.
Yeah, all right. And then you've got I know you told me a lot and I still haven't memorized all the things I should know about these parks. But I've heard the story a lot, so help me with your recreational facilities. We wish to have assistance from Phillips 66 to encourage the Port of LA to open up sites for
Under the control of the
soccer.
port,
What's that?
under the control of the port
To open up
for
sites
organized recreational use. That will do it.
under their control. Or organized recreational use, e.g. soccer.
Yeah.
But the ones that I had memorized were the actual parks. So I want to put that in parentheses too.
Yeah.
So such as, and give me the name of those parks.
Wilmington Waterfront Park and 22nd Street Park.
22nd Street Park. Okay.
Yeah, you know, the port owns two that have organized recreational use, and that is the baseball fields on top of Knoll Hill, and then the baseball fields down on Harbor Boulevard, down by Port Sakal. But they're severely underutilized. You never see anybody on them, and there's room for more, even more up on Knoll Hill.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I don't want to step on the baseball people's toes and get them all riled up that we're taking their baseball fields from them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we've got that. Anything else? I've got to resave this.
That's it from me.
All right.
I
Thank you.
would like to make a motion that we approve this letter and forward it to the board for approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and moved by Diana and seconded by Thomas.
When we lost Garrett, because he had a power outage, he texted me about, but you can probably hear that. If not, when we do the vote, let's just take a note of this too in case we've lost him. But
He's back.
okay, there we go. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he's coming back. He's been gone for 3 minutes. And
Yeah,
so,
sorry, go ahead, Ken.
and that is present this letter board.
Dropped.
Do we lose Kane?
No, we lost.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He's having internet problems tonight.
Well, there was a power outage wherever Garrett was, so so I guess I'll step in and share while he's there just to move this out. Could you do the roll call, Dana?
Yeah, we just want to make sure there's no more discussion before we did that. Any discussion? Any more? Okay. Linda Alexander,
Yes.
Rock Ashfield,
He dropped.
Pat Nave,
Pat's on mute.
and mute yourself, Pat. Pat, you're
Yes.
mute. Yes, okay. Jason Herring,
Yes.
Tam Rampy,
Yes.
Tom Norman,
Yes.
Ina Nave, yes. Garrett.
Hi.
And Kane Nicholas, who will vote when he comes back.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. That was a lot of work, but that was good.
Time well spent.
So we will get that off to the board. The next item on the agenda was the PIP, and it's here just so that we can begin to think about dividing up the work for comments like we did on this one. And we may be too tired to do that tonight. I don't know.
Oh, yes, we are too tired.
Yeah, I think
Can we get
people-
volunteers though? Could we do what we did last time and work later? So everybody speak up with what part they'd like to do. Maybe going around the Zoom screen, starting with Linda. Do you have an area you want to tackle for PIP?
Art.
Art, okay.
Mhm.
Sam?
I honestly, I'm not, I don't know what the different elements of the PIP are. I'm more than happy to take on something, but, yeah, I'm just not super familiar with it.
Yeah, it may be premature.
Okay. Jason, anything you want to work on that?
Well, I had something for the last meeting, but we ran out of time to discuss a mapping of what our results were from the public outreach to what they actually chose. And two of the things that were missing were two of the top requested items. So I wanted to have some comments about the missing things.
Hi, Kate.
One of them being the pedestrian bridge. So definitely want to talk about that.
I'm trying to mute myself.
Okay, so get that, you know, for pedestrian bridge. And
And
then,
also the other thing was the public transit, the dedicated right-of-way transit, which could be a modernized red car, a wheeled trolley, but on its own dedicated right-of-way, something that is not sharing lanes with all the traffic, basically.
and the one thing I don't understand about the pedestrian bridge thing that came up with the port, I walked down there with Kane yesterday to try to visualize where this would be or how it would work and if people would use it. And I'm guessing, is it something that would come up kind of higher and then go down from across harbor, or would it just be a big arch where people would have to walk up it and walk down it to cross?
I have plenty of illustrations from other parts of the world where they do this, and I'll share them, but just not today.
Yeah, okay. All right, I was trying to get a sense of that because they were pretty dismissive of the public interest and the cost of it, so I didn't have a good explanation, so that will be important. Garrett, I know you're doing a lot of work on development. Is there a particular area you want to sign up for that you're interested in looking at and different ways to use the PIP for projects on the port?
And sorry to interrupt, I have to drop. I have a hard stop at 8, a little bit over, so I have to jump.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Thanks for volunteering.
Bye, guys.
Not anything entirely off the top of my head. Again, things concerning housing or development are of interest to me, but I don't have anything specifically come to the forefront of my mind that would be like a good.
But housing's unique, right? So if we have art, we have public transit and this bridge, and you can look at something related to housing. Sam can kind of guess, start researching whatever you do is welcome. And then going to you last, Pat, because I know you've always got things and we've worked together, but you're also going on vacation. So anything you want to make sure is covered or we couldn't count on you to think about for PIP?
No, Diana, do you see something in there from what I should be doing?
You're muted, Dinah.
Oh, yeah, I was muted because Kane had called me and I was talking to him. I'll tell you in a minute. So yeah, Pat, I think you should write up about the revenue from the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
So if you could write that part and our disappointment that so much of the money is going into to parking.
Yeah, the port's using PIP money to construct parking lots that they're going to then get the revenue from the parking on those lots. It won't go into a PIP fund.
And as far as housing, there's not any housing to be talked about in this one. So there won't be any housing in the PIP. It wouldn't be appropriate.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Trying to think, is there anything?
There may not be a whole lot of comments. I mean, that's okay if we only have a few comments. It is what it is. But I know that Jason wanted to do that one, and I knew we wanted to do something on the parking lot. So that may be all we need. And then Linda wants to do something on art, and they have the art plan in there, so she can comment on that. That would be appropriate. That was Kane on the phone because he's trying to get back in and he's having trouble getting back in for some reason.
Huh, okay. Yeah, as long as we're in, there's nothing we need Vic for. And you were able to get back in, right, Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
You dropped, so we'll wait to see if we can. But we were pretty close to the end because we just have updates of other items of interest. So Diana, I know you sent me emails, so you might want to talk about some things with Peck Park and.
Oh, okay. Well, in terms of updates, I do have an interesting update that came out of the the general manager of the port, Gene Soroka, spoke to chamber members about the situation with tariffs. But in the process of that, he talked about the Vincent Thomas Bridge. And I had mentioned at the last meeting that there was this problem of, well, it turned out to be about 11 inches or something that was going to cause the bridge to be possibly too low now for boats to pass, ships to pass under. Well, Gene Soroka's concern is that the bridge should actually be significantly higher than that, because the new ships would not be even if it were its existing height, would not be able to get under. And that we should be looking now at having the bridge raised to accommodate the future generation of ships. The problem with that is that it would cause the bridge to be closed longer, and so the community has to kind of be willing to go along with that. But it seems like something that we ought to be supporting. So I wanted to bring that up. I think there will be more discussion about that later. So that's my other items of interest to the committee.
No, that's a big one. Anybody else have anything? Anything in the art world? Anything you've caught?
It's first Thursday coming up.
Yeah.
Busy night.
Okay, just a reminder that we canceled our regular June meeting to have this one. I think we got our work done, so I'm not, we don't think we'll need to meet at this level. We do have the joint planning meeting coming up on Wednesday, June 25th, 6 p.m. And hopefully there'll be no power surge there. We're actually been hitting with power surges the last two of these meetings. So Garrett, you've been affected by both, right? We knew the TV was broken. I will say, I knew there was something wrong. We couldn't have three computers now at work, but
I don't think everyone knows what happened at the joint meeting.
oh yeah, why don't you share? You're the one that told me, Dana. So
it turned out that the reason that they couldn't get the network to work was they had a power surge that afternoon, and it had fried the connection that the whole system was plugged into. So we kept trying different things, and none of it was working. There was nothing that could have worked, and that was the problem. So.
Well, I just got some good news from Kane. Even though he is gone, his robot is still here, capturing every word we say. So he's going to listen to it after we sign out. So he is with us virtually, though not physically.
And he did vote yes on the letter. So.
Okay. Okay, for the notes for Garrett. All right. Anybody else have anything else? It has been a long night, and again, we appreciate everybody who's here. Always nice to see guests, Brooke, so thank you.
I'm hoping that Brooke will decide to join the committee, particularly the contributions he made tonight make it real obvious he ought to be a part of this committee.
No, the expertise is such, I think that would be fantastic. So anything we can do to encourage you, Brooke?
My expertise is aerodynamics, so I'm not exactly sure how that will contribute, but thank you. It was fun to be involved.
Okay.
That sounds like the disciplined mind of your work would be helpful.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, there's something for an architect to enjoy as well as an artist, right? So, I see Sam smiling at the idea, Linda, so it's unanimous. Please join us.
Thank you.
All right, so can I call it then? I'm gonna
go for it.
Take a motion to adjourn. It's non-debatable. So